Inravio.com.
Hello again, everybody. This is Joe Larson, and you're watching the 5 Off, 5 On Racing Show. Tonight, my co-host, Mike Jarecki from MyRaceNews.com. Welcome.
Thank you, Joe.
It's all good. As you could tell, we have a live studio audience tonight, kind of like a who's who in racing. But our most important guest tonight, and we're going to bring him on in a little while, is Jimmy Rennick, owner of Metropolitan Recycling out of East New York, Brooklyn, has sponsored our 300th show tonight. So a big thank you from Inravio, my doing that. Wow, 300 shows. Who would have thought? I came here one day, Chuck and Bonnie, who run Inravio and ultimately Media, they asked for a little favor. Now, we go back a long way. Anything for Chuck and Bonnie. All right, I'll come. What do you got? We have this racing show. We need a co-host. I said, yeah, sure, I'll do it. What the heck? And I thought it'd only be for a little while, because shows get canceled all the time, and I'm not, I'm not a show guy. And next you know, it's 300 shows later, and I'm still sitting here.
And doing a good job.
Thank you. And it's one of those things. Talking about something that you love all the time. And I tell people when they're going to be a guest, I said, it's like coming to my house, sitting at my kitchen table, having a cup of coffee, talking racing.
It's not work.
And it's not. It's a good time. And guys come out here from Staten Island tonight to be a part of this. And we're on the east end of Long Island, so that's a road trip. That is a road trip. And Roger Roxy, who normally makes it out to these events up in Fishkill, New York. He was unable to attend. He had some business matters to attend to. He's never missed an anniversary show either.
And he has a long commute to come down here to do the show. Yes, he does.
He does. And then there's our good friend who's no longer with us, WJ Walter Johnston. He's never missed an anniversary show, and he's not going to miss this one either. He's right there over our shoulder. And he's been over my shoulder for a long time. And like I said, he was my biggest critic, but he was my biggest fan. And as you know, that's how WJ was.
That's how he was. I wouldn't have my website if it wasn't for Walter. So
exactly. And Walter took MyRaceNews.com to where he could take it, and he left it in good hands with you. And you've taken it to the next level. Tell us about some of the things that you've done with that.
Well, we've got a chance to do some cup races. We do a lot of the NASCAR Tour races. We're at Riverhead Raceway every Saturday night covering the races there, and we're always looking for another race, another track to go to report on it, to take some pictures, a little video, whatever we can do,
right,
and have some fun with it.
And that's why he did that, to have some fun with it. And somebody in the chat room just said, he's watching, and he's never missed a show, and he's always there with us. And it's one of those things that I don't remember when I met him, don't remember how I met him, but he just always seemed he was there.
Yeah. He when I started working for him originally, I think I bumped into him at Riverhead, and he walked up and said, "Hi, I'm Walter. Do you want to come shoot some pictures for my website?" Okay.
Yeah.
And off we went.
There you go. And again, with our sponsor, the anniversary show of Metropolitan Recycling, they compete at the Riverhead Raceway here in Long Island in the Super Pro Truck Division. And I'll tell you what, and you're going to see a picture of it later, they have the most unique hauler.
Yes, they do.
For their race truck. And I'll let Jimmy explain it later, but I saw it once on the Long Island Expressway. I was coming back from a dirt race, and Riverhead got rained out, and I'm going through Queens, Brooklyn, wherever it was, and I'm like, oh, there's a show truck coming. And then I saw it was Jimmy, but we'll let him talk about that. But Metropolitan Recycling, serving New York City out of East New York, Brooklyn, and whatever your needs may be, 718-257-8584. And he'll be more than happy to help you out and let him know that you heard it and saw it. on 505 on Racing. And Jimmy, a good partner for Inravio.com and the 505 on Racing show. And one of those things that started as we had him and his nephew on the show one day, and they had such a good time. And you know,
Well, I think everybody that comes here always has a good time.
you know, I almost everybody.
Uh-oh.
Sometimes I don't have a but no, we have a good time doing this show, and I'll tell you what, there's people I have to thank, and first of all, it's Chuck and Bonnie Schultz who had the courage and the conviction to put me in this seat. And like I said, we go back a long time, and the friend thing can only go so far, but we've made it happen. We're one of the longest shows here. I believe his show is on a little bit longer than mine, but he owns the place, you know. So that would
It's
be
hard to
that.
take yourself off the air.
Exactly, and I got Anthony in the control room, and I've had some people in the control room over the years, over the 6 years I'm doing this, and Anthony is the first racing person that has been in the control room who understands what we do here.
Understands what you're talking about.
Exactly, you know, exactly. So, Anthony, I want to thank you for putting up with me and some of my last minute 11th hours. We're going live in a minute. Okay, but before we go live, Anthony, I need this, and this. And boom, there it is. So he's a good guy, and he makes it happen for me. And the people in the chat room, some of the chat room people are sitting in our live studio audience. Jay Slice, I'm not going to say who he is out there, but he's out there, and he almost never misses a show unless it's a Little League game or a ball game with his kid. And a lot of insight in racing. He's been in racing his whole entire life. And you know, a guy like that was my crew chief, and we actually met back in my officialing days when his brother was racing, late models, Blunderbuss truck, whatever he was doing at the time. And then I needed a driver, and I had them over the house, and boom, the next thing I know, he's driving for me. And then his dad got involved. So, you know, racing is one of those things that the people that you meet along the way, you know, become lifelong friends almost. Bruce Edwards, him and I go back, gosh, man, it was almost 30 years. And I didn't know Bruce when he was a race, knew of him and he had one of the most immaculate late models I ever saw in street stocks back in the day at ISO Speedway. And then he went to the other side of the fence as a vendor. And for some reason, we just hit it off. I think I was one of the only drivers that paid my bill. Maybe that was why we hit it off.
That always helps.
Yeah, he's shaking his head.
That always helps.
You know, but
you're right. A lot of people we know, that's our second family.
It is, you know. I remember when my dad passed away, and it was right before the Thompson opener. And he was buried on Friday, and we do this thing, the burial, and we go back to the Knights of Columbus, have some food and some drink. And it was time to go, and I went racing. I went to Thompson. I was the race director at the time with the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour. And when I got to the track, my NASCAR bosses were like, "Why are you here? Why are you not with your family?" I said, "Because you guys are my family."
This is what we do.
You know, I mean, I have my family, my sister and brother-in-law are here, my daughter, and you know, they're my family, but they had the same hurt that I had. I needed to be with people who are going to keep me up.
Well, throughout the year, I think you should sometimes spend as much time with your racing people, your racing family, as you do with your own family.
If not more, Jaws, if not more. And it's funny, when you're jammed up, who do you call first? You call a racing guy.
Yeah.
You call a racing guy because they're going to help you out.
Listen, in the pits when you have a problem in your heat with your car, who comes and helps you?
Yeah, you know, it's all good. But anyway, 300 shows, and I was talking earlier in the control room about some of the people that we had on this show over the years, and it's almost like a who's who in racing, and I know we have images on it. I'm just going to go at random, and they'll be flashing images throughout the day, or out the evening, I should say. You know, Ryan Priest was a guest on our show, although it was an interview. Ryan Priest, Ronnie Silk, was Ted Christopher, Burt Myers from the Southern Modified Tour when it was going
All came down to Long Island.
Yeah. Jesse Little from the Camping World Truck Series was also a guest on our show. And we also had Amber Ferrari, who is a singer, and she actually is oh man, I'm drawing a blank. She's oh man, I can't remember the person that she like impersonates, but it's like she came on the show because she was sponsoring Tommy Rogers Jr., who was also a guest here, and she was sponsoring his car, And John Wellman, who was always a help to me when my daughter was racing, was her manager.
Okay.
And they came on and did a show. And her first record that she cut, and not records anymore, the CDs, was played on the air here before it was played anywhere else.
World debut.
Yeah, and I said, this is the first, and she gave it to me, and I said, can I play this? Am I allowed? She was, yeah, and it was a good thing. So we've had a wide assortment of people on this show, not just race car drivers. We've had crew chiefs, Freddie Kraft, the spotter, he was on live in the studio, plus a couple of interviews. So
Okay.
we've had a full assortment of people over the years, rookies.
Well, 300 shows, you have to have a few people.
Well,
you know?
yeah, we did, and it was always good, and it was always fun, and when I look back on it, it's kind of almost like a blend of who was on when. I was trying to say, now what was this guy and what was that guy, and then you try to go back into the archives, and looking in the archives at 300.
I don't know how you remember it all.
Yeah, it's tough, but anyway, myracenews.com, big thing. I saw you up at the Thompson thing for the annual World Series with your son.
With my son, had a blast. The weather was phenomenal for. It wasn't opening weekend since they opened up in South Carolina
Yep.
2 weeks before, but it was good racing, good field of cars. The place was packed as usual.
Right.
But good weekend.
It
Good race
was.
weekend, except if you're Doug Kobe.
I think he didn't even do a lap, and
About 3/4 of a lap.
yeah, 3/4, and he tore that thing up, and defending champion in NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour, and it was just one of those things. I think everybody just checked up in 1 and 2, and next thing you know, he's in the wall.
Everybody checked up. It actually happened right in front of me. I was looking further back in the pack, looked up, and he was ground up against the backstretch wall and not very happy.
No, he wasn't a happy camper, and there was a couple of incidences in that race as well that you wonder how that happened. I know one of the good deals is he tore up his car pretty good too, and the 46 car, I believe. And
There was a lot of torn up cars.
Yeah.
It's it's a fast track. When things happen, they happen fast there, and that cement wall is very unforgiving up there.
it is, and I know. Wow, I'm gonna say going back 11, 12 years, I rented the place and put my daughter in a modified. She was 15, and you had to be 16 to do this thing. So for that day, she was 16. I just miscalculated,
Yeah, that's like when I was under 12 and I slept Speedway until I was
exactly.
18.
We were all 11 for about 4 years. So, and I'm watching her go, and she's going, and all of a sudden, I hear the engine, but I couldn't see turn 2 from where I was on pit road, and all of a sudden I hear the engine, and I see like a plume of grass flying. I said, oh, she's in the freshly mowed grass at Tom's. You know how thick it is. And I'm waiting for the bang. And it was only a ding. It was a ding. So I go running across, oh man, and I think she's like crying. She's laughing. She's covered in grass, like Cousin It. That's how she looked. And we just bent the bumper a little bit. I thought Kenny Bouchard would be a little upset.
Which you're very lucky.
We actually crashed at Thompson and drove it off the racetrack.
I remember the days when they used to have the sandbanks. When you hit those, you'd be dumping sand out of your car for about a week.
Exactly. But she's in our live studio audience today. Hi, Jessica. Thanks for coming. She's kind of shy. I asked her to be the microphone girl, and she said no. But anyway, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will have with us Jimmy Rennick, our proud sponsor of the 300th episode, when we come back.
This is Timmy Salamino, driver the number 16 modified. Congratulations, Joe, on your 300 show.
Hey, this is Chris Jake, and if Inravio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE, your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop, 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Hi there, this is Buddy from Less Than Jake, and you are listening to Inravio TV. You're probably watching it too.
There he is.
Jimmy,
What's up, Joe?
I'm going to thank you again for
Anytime.
stepping up and helping us produce this 300th anniversary show.
Glad I was able to help.
You know, it's one of those things, you know, I'm sitting here like, wow, we're having a big show. And I reached out to my racing buddies, and there you were. You stepped right up and you said, what do you need? I'll take care of it. And it didn't go as planned, but it worked out in the end.
Yeah, it worked out.
It worked out. It always
Did a little
does,
bit
you
of
know.
a bump in the road, but we got it
You
straightened
know,
out.
you're kind of used to bumps in the road, especially in your business.
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
It's rough.
tell us a little about what Metropolitan Recycling does, well, before we get into it.
We're a full-service recycling company and trash hauling company, servicing basically all 5 boroughs, but majority the 4 boroughs. We really don't go to Staten Island too much.
Right.
No offense, John. But,
I'm sure John knows some people that could take care of it, please.
yeah, full-service trash and hauling company, as well as having a MRF.
Okay.
And we ship out to China, to Indonesia, all of the countries throughout the world on a daily basis through Port Newark.
Now,
And that's what we do.
you're running a Super Pro truck at Riverhead Raceway on Long
Yes.
Island. Doing that again for 2017?
Yep, we'll be out in Riverhead, hopefully vying for the championship. We were going to try and run some New England Truck Series races.
Right.
We ran into a little bit of bump in the road that we spoke about
Yeah.
for Thompson, so we weren't there. But we'll be focusing on our championship run at Riverhead Raceway.
Now, earlier I was explain your race hall, because I wouldn't do it justice. You could explain it better than me.
It's unique. It's
Yeah.
one of a kind, pretty
There
much.
it is.
Yeah. Yeah, the race hauler became, it was an idea that I had that actually kind of worked out. It was a 45-yard garbage compactor that I kind of converted into the hauler for what you see now. And it kind of took its own life because we started doing things to it, and then it just took off. And
Glows in the dark. Can
Yeah.
be seen from space.
yeah, it's I'm into lights and chrome, as you can see. So
I
it's,
wouldn't have known that from looking at these pictures.
Yeah, it's like I said, it took on a life of its own, and then it was supposed to be enclosed, but it was too narrow. And then it winded up being a blessing because everybody seems to like it because it's open-sided,
Right.
where you can see
the truck, yeah.
on the inside.
It's
So
awesome.
we nickname everything. The truck's got its nickname, the hauler's got its nickname, the truck, all that stuff.
Your wife has a nickname.
Yeah, she does.
She's
Miss
good
Vito.
people. She cracks me up.
Yeah.
And I wish she
people.
would have came, but unfortunately
She's at
It's a family-rated show.
Yeah.
She comes out to the track every
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah, Angela comes out. She takes care of everything with the food. If it wasn't for her, we'd all starve, and she just keeps everything on track. I mean, the night
Which is-
before, my radios are charged, everything.
Which is important as the crew's working on the tires and the engines and whatever, because there's a lot of things goes on behind the scenes that you need somebody to kind of take care of it.
I
So
get out of my car on Friday afternoon, coming into the house, it smells like it's the San Gennaro feast. The sauce
Yeah.
and peppers are going, you smell everything. Thank God she
how come
she
you don't
does
bring,
all
How
that.
come you don't bring any up to the infield to the photographers and things, huh?
We'll try this year.
Okay, just
You know, it's right.
hand it out the window when you come out.
I'm walking around the pit area, and I'm going to always go to say hello to Jimmy. And his wife goes, come on, eat. Oh, okay. No, back there. It was like I was at a Viennese hour at a wedding, this food that they had out there.
Yeah,
to
she does
spread.
quite a bit. Like, thank God she does what she does. She's such a tremendous help.
I'll find out this year, trust me.
Yeah,
That's good,
we'll
that's good.
introduce you to her.
Now, Jerry, like you said, Riverhead for 2017. How did you get into this racing, this thing we call racing? What
Like I
sucked
told you
in?
last time I was on here, it was all on a dare.
Yeah.
When I was 15 years old, I believe it was. And it was a dare, and
Yeah.
I started at Islip doing the demos, and basically never grew up ever since then. That was 1983.
Right.
So here we are.
Did you do enduros and things before you moved up, or you just?
Yeah, I ran every Enduro from the day one up until I basically stopped in like
I
92.
think I ran into him once. on
Yeah.
the track.
You might have.
I ran into a lot of things on the
Yeah.
track.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun though doing those
too.
with the 200 lappers back in the day.
Back in the day, the 200 lappers.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yes, it was.
I think we found a chair for you.
Look at this.
Yeah, special
Look at
treatment.
that. Oh, you wanna
Let's
move
slide
on?
over. Let him in.
You know,
Come on up
coming
to
in
the
right
table.
over here. Let's
That,
go.
since '83, you're talking almost 35 years that you've been playing.
Quite a while.
It's a long time. Now, back then when you were doing demos, and let's talk about those demos. Back in the day with the demolition derbies, there were a lot of cars,
Yeah.
a lot of characters, and
Yeah.
there was
always
guys-
track versus track.
Yeah.
Back then it was us, meaning the Freeport guys versus the Islip guys, and when all that changed, it was still the Freeport guys versus the Riverhead guys. It was always teams. We'd run into each other, but it was always that crew versus the other crew.
Exactly, and you made sure that somebody from your group was there at the end.
Yeah, until everybody started getting stingy. They
Yeah.
had to protect them.
Exactly.
But that's normal demolition derby stuff.
Absolutely, and you know, back in those days, you had Freeport, you had Riverhead, you had Islip, and it would be raining in Freeport, and the sun be shining in Islip, and guys would head out there, or raining at Islip and Riverhead was good.
Yeah, Freeport was its own, had its own thing, because of the backward forward. It wasn't just the demolition derby, you had the
Right.
race for the 9
Right.
laps.
Yep.
The 6 in reverse and the 3 forward. So it was a lot different than an all-out demo. But getting to Islip and Riverhead, the championship used to consist of you had to be a champion or you had to win a race to
Right.
get into that. It was a prestigious event,
Yep.
believe it or not,
You
for
had
a
to-
demolition derby.
You had to qualify.
Yes, and out of state, Massachusetts, all that would be able to come in
Sure.
and qualify for it.
Florida,
And we used to run the
Indiana.
heats and everything. I mean,
And be on TV, Wild World of Sports.
yeah, I was on the 85, I believe it was, ESPN.
Yep.
Actually, there's a couple shots of me on there. My aunt saw it in Arizona, so she called my mom.
Ah, wow.
But it was cool. It was nice. But
Yeah.
that was, when you can get a car for $100, them days are over.
Those
Yes,
days
that
are definitely over.
doesn't exist anymore.
Doesn't work no more.
There's a lot
Days
of-
are over.
Not many big cars left like there was
No,
back in those
not at
days.
all.
You actually wish you had some of those cars that they wrecked in those days that
Yeah.
we'd kill for now.
You find the Monte Carlos that we raced, and we called them the White Lakes back in the day, the Monacos and the Furies. Things are 14, 15 grand. You see them online now.
Wow.
You get a beat up one for maybe 7 grand, but
Yeah, you really can't put that
It's
into a
amazing.
demo.
Yeah.
Nah,
I remember
no more.
when I first got involved with racing in the late 70s, my chassis was a 59 Ford. And back then, the 59 Ford chassis was also 60, 61, 62, 63, which I didn't know.
Kirshner's.
Yeah.
The Kirshner's ran
And
those
how
things.
many of those cars I cut up just for the front clips?
Mm-hmm.
And I look back, I'm like, whoa. I mean, I didn't cut them up. I had somebody do it for me because I wasn't too mechanical back then. I'm still not that mechanical, but,
I'm not either.
but you know what?
That's what we have a crew for.
It got to
I'm
the point.
useless when it comes to that.
I crashed that ice up so many times, I got good at fixing stuff. Because, you watch the guy do it about 10 times, and I'm not kidding. And then, wait, I think I could do that, and then I could do that. Next thing you know, you crash enough, you learn how to change uppers and lowers real quick.
Cost you a fortune.
Yeah, not
lot
back
of
then,
money.
though. You go to the junkyard, you get the parts. Now,
Yeah, not now.
you got to go to Oval Speed and get the parts.
Yeah. Parts on a pro truck, and you go to a junkyard for that.
No,
a regular pro truck.
No, nothing anymore. Even the bodies, you buy your bodies, and it's like putting a puzzle together.
Well, you used to paint them, now you wrap them.
Yeah, we do quite a bit with the wrapping. At least on my crew, we do.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
It's funny when Brian Cicella was driving for me, and I came to the house and everything was good. We're in my office. I had like a little office there. That made me feel important, So they come and we do our thing, and it did. I had all my racing, my Richard Petty, Benny, all my guys that I've over the years, and I said I will go to the shop Saturday. And warm-ups was like the following week, so they go to the shop and there's the blunderbuss car. It basically was chassis rails and a roll cage. And Jay Slice will tell you, that's what we saw. They brought their father with them. And Brian says, I guess we'll be closed for opening day. What are you talking about? We'll be ready for practice day. Bob Finan happened to stop by. Goes, when you guys coming out? In June? No, we'll be ready. And what they didn't know, I made my own body panels for a Impala, Chevy. And what I did is, my daughter crashed so many times that I took the bent pieces and I flattened them out and made templates. So I had templates of all the body parts. And she's there laughing, she's buried in the head in the sand. And they're like, we can't believe it. So midway through the week, the body was done. I guess we'll go out primer. No, I'll have it painted. And this is what I did. I didn't have a paint shop. I went and got like 2 cases of Krylon. Joe's looking at me like, I can't believe this. I can't believe this.
I can never do it. I used to send my demo cars out to the paint shop to get sprayed.
Nice.
I used to tape off the chrome around my windshield.
I was cheap. I took my paint budget and we bought food because we had to eat. You know, I don't have the food that you guys had, but you know. But that's what we did back in those days, and we had so much fun doing it.
I used to flat toe.
Yes.
My dad used to flat toe me with his Lincoln Town car to the racetrack.
Yeah, you would tell me that time.
Yeah.
You would tell me.
These they come all different ways. That's why it's refreshing to see your hauler.
Thank you.
Because it's different. It stands out. You know, it's like Wade Cole on the tour when they show the overhead shot of Bristol in the pits, and there's all these haulers and there's
all these double
and
stackers.
there's Wade's.
I just want to be there when they get there, to be honest with you. The race I'd rather watch on TV, but I actually want to see the haulers and stuff going into those tracks.
And the way we park them, I worked
amazing.
Bristol a lot of times in all series, and the trailer haulers would come in, and I had to put 2 fists. I had to put a fist up against the wall, the one trailer, like this is it. He's in, and I put my fist here, and then I put my other fist, and the next guy had to touch my fist because they only had that much room.
It's amazing how close they are.
Otherwise, they're not fitting.
Yeah.
You know, and God forbid one was crooked. The powers to be up in the castle in NASCAR, you're on the radio, and they use numbers, not names. 26 to Joe. Go ahead, 26, and that's Mike Hilton. Got trailer number 14 is a little crooked. I'm looking at it. I can't. He's up, you know, in the top of the Coliseum
Bird's eye
there.
view over there.
All right, I'm telling the hauler driver, you got to move it. What do you mean? They're saying it's not straight. This is as straight as it's gonna get. Joe, how come he's not moving that hauler? I'm talking to him about, you know, it's not easy. It's very stressful. I'd rather be in the tower running the race than trying to park haulers.
It's tight over there. Like I said, I've only seen it on TV though. It's pretty cool though.
It's a place.
I like it.
It's a place to be.
It's a neat place to watch a race. It really is.
And when you're on the infield, you can't see the track. You can only see the grandstands.
I've never even been to a cup race.
What?
Really?
Never been to a cup race, believe it or not. Yeah, all these years.
I'll take you to one of the races this year.
Never been to one.
We'll do a road trip. We'll
You know, it's
we'll take them
different
to New
live.
Hampshire.
I tell that to people all the time. It's not like on TV where you fall
No.
on the couch or the recliner. You're there live. It's so different.
Something's going on every second, whether it's in the pits, on the track. It's just the people you meet. I mean, we just came back from Las Vegas, and the celebrities walking by. You hear somebody say, "Hey, Adam, how's it going?" You turn around, you're standing next to Adam Sandler. It's a whole different world. When people say, "Oh, it was so boring," I'm like, "What do you mean? It was great." It was a great race.
I always tell people if I got to explain, you wouldn't understand anyway.
Even at Riverhead, there's a lot of things that go on in the pits. They see you come out the gate, they see you go back in the gate. But the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, the work that's going on, it's a lot. It's a lot.
It is a lot involved.
It is, and it's funny. I remember years ago taking somebody to ISO Speedway. It was a friend of mine from work, and modifieds crash, the right front goes flying off, and the guy gets double hooked in. The guy, I guess he's done, and they didn't even go green yet, and he comes back out. The guy's like, "How did they do that? Would he get another car?" No, they put it back together. They get real good at that.
Both in one back on.
Yeah, it's awesome. But looking down the road, I know you race primary film because nobody's making money racing.
No, we're not making no money doing it.
And at our age, the Cup and the Xfinity and the Camper World Day has passed us by. Well, where do you see yourself in 5 years of racing?
I really couldn't tell you. Last time you asked me that when I was here, Nicholas was here.
Yeah.
And, I thought maybe down the road, put him in the truck, but he's back down in Florida now. And I really don't know. It's basically a year-to-year thing. I like to do it. I enjoy being out at the track. The people that you meet, like you guys were speaking about earlier.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just enjoy it. It hasn't gotten to the point where I'm upset, put it that way.
Right.
With people and with all that stuff. It's still a good thing. I think this will be our 4th season. And just before we go, I just wanted to bring it up that this year we're going to partner with Charlie Floge that I mentioned to you.
Yep.
He does a non-for-profit muscular dystrophy children. So we're going to bring a family of 4 once a month to Riverhead Raceway as part of our crew.
Nice.
I never did it before, so we're trying it, and we're going to bring a family of 4 once a month throughout the season to Riverhead Raceway.
Great.
To have these kids, do something that they really enjoy.
Right.
They usually don't have the opportunity to go or the funds to go, so we're going to be doing that.
Yeah.
for
So
a family of 4.
Glenn Tyler, when he was a modified tour driver, his wife was with Make-A-Wish. and sometimes that was their wish. They wanted to see a race at a big track like
Yeah.
that. So, and it's all about the kids, and these kids are, even the older people who are less fortunate than us. And, you know, fortunately, we're in a position we could help those people.
Yeah.
And, you know, to watch the smiles on their faces when at the end of the night, you know, as they're eating Miss Vito's sausage and peppers. It's,
Yeah, it's like I said, I looked at it as, thought about it, and I said, what's the worst that can happen? So we don't buy a tire that night, big deal. So, you know, we'll give somebody a memory for a lifetime, hopefully.
Great. Yeah, Charlie's been doing this for a while.
long time.
Yeah, and I reached out to him, and we got in touch with the Muscular Dystrophy Association in New York. And they got in touch with us and back and forth, and our first guy going is going to be Thomas McCarthy out of Hicksville.
Great.
So
Great.
he's going to be coming
Near my-
out.
near my hometown.
Opening night.
That's great.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
And-
listen. You know, having an autistic son who comes to the track with me, you know how much he loves going there, and you know it just, you know that hits home with me. So,
Yeah, so that's what we're looking forward to doing that. So we're getting stuff made in his sizes and stuff.
Nice.
And he'll be in the pits with us. He's going to be like an honorary crew member for the day. Bob Fine's calling it. So
That's
he's going to be
great.
part of our
That's
crew
great.
for the day.
Nice.
So we'll have him do tires, clean the car, whatever he can do. Whatever he wants to do. If he doesn't want to do anything, he'll just sit there and watch us.
There you go.
So-
Jimmy, thank you not only for what you did for our show, the anniversary show, but for what you're doing for the kids, what you do for racing. You're an ambassador of the sport, and
Thank you.
we need more guys like you who, you know,
Appreciate it.
whether you have a good finish or a bad finish, at the end of the night, you're still smiling, you're still talking to the people.
Yeah, it depends on who you ask, though. I don't tell too many people that.
Yeah, you're good people, Jimmy, and I thank you again.
problem.
I can't express my feeling
You're
for
welcome.
what you did.
Glad I was able to help.
Thank you. We're going to take a break, and we come back. We're going to have
Thank you,
our
Jerry.
friend John
We'll see you. Haven't seen
Visconti
Victor lately.
I hope so.
up here, and we'll have some fun with John when he comes up, when we come back.
Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop. 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, Inravio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is Inravio.com.
Hi, my name is Aaron from Real Big Fish.
And I'm Ed from Real Big Fish.
And you're watching the Inravio TV network.
Hey, welcome back. In the middle here, we have John Visconti. John, welcome.
Thank you,
From
Joe.
Staten Island.
Congratulations on your 300th show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's
You come all the way from Staten Island?
I did.
Staten Island.
Yeah. Staten, Italy.
Staten, Italy, yeah. Staten, Italy. You know, how come your fans, they didn't clap when you came up? But they did for Jimmy.
Jimmy has a bigger following than me. He's got a nice truck with the lights.
He's got the nice truck with the
and
lights.
the little gardens with all the Italian food.
Yeah, definitely.
So what kind of food are you bringing this year?
We're going to have TJ Halpin's food. Nice. Sponsor plug. And
I just wanted you to feel at home, John.
Wow.
that is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
I gotta go.
That's it? That's
That's a
it?
true story, though.
I know.
Oh, man. Oh, you got me back to the Fed comment.
I did. I did.
Oh, boy.
For those
Yep. Gotta go.
with John, all of a sudden I see him on Facebook. He goes, why the helicopter's over my house now? I gotta go.
They were like 15 foot above my house. And it was no joke. I mean, apparently, it wasn't for me because I wouldn't be here.
But it was for somebody.
You could be out on bail. and they didn't say
Not
it.
necessarily.
Really?
All right?
No, I'm okay.
You're all right. You're good.
We're good.
All right.
We'll talk later.
Because I'm not allowed to, associate with known felons.
Who is? Who is?
Wow,
This is taking another whole turn, boy.
this is like the Tonight Show with Rodney Dangerfield here.
Yeah. So how about that racing team? How about it?
How about that?
Oh, he's taking over the show.
Good thing we have a lawyer with us here.
He looks like a lawyer.
He does, doesn't he?
The perp,
You
the
like it?
defendant.
Was this
Yeah.
good?
It's perfect.
He told me wear a suit.
Yeah.
He's handsome, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just saying.
That's
We
okay.
try.
We do try.
Yeah. Well, you look good.
Thank you.
I mean, and nice shirt. Team colors.
Yeah.
Team issued.
Nice.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right through Sunday.
Is it like a memo that comes out? Which one's?
Of course. Well, as if.
I didn't get the memo because I only got the T-shirt version.
Well, that's another whole issue with the team, but we'll talk later.
We'll talk
Yeah,
later.
you'll get one. You'll have one.
Nice.
Now, John, I know your dad, Cookie Visconti, who was an interviewed guest on our show
Yes.
twice.
Yeah, he was there.
He was,
Not 70 years old.
no,
if you
he's
remember.
not 70
No.
years old. He was scheduled to be here tonight as well.
Yeah, he was very, honestly, he was with me this morning. He was with us for Easter for the holiday weekend, and he wasn't feeling great. And today, when he was leaving my house to go home, I was going to pick him up on the way in, and he just wasn't feeling right. So I said, Dad, you know what, stay home, relax, and we'll take him out, for practice next weekend, and he'll
be there for opening night, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. My dad has not missed a race since I've been racing. Come to think of it, yeah. And he's in love with CJ. He just thinks he's a
good guy. CJ.
He's happy with him. He's very happy.
And that's
which
important.
is cool.
Because your team is a very family-orientated team, and CJ fits very well with you guys.
With the number 74 in honor of your dad?
Absolutely. When I was running Legends cars, I started off with 74, then we broke away to the number 1 after a few seasons, which was very successful, but it didn't feel like, I kind of wanted to break away a little bit and try to make my own number, and as successful as it was, it didn't feel like a Visconti number.
Right.
So when we had gotten into the modifieds with CJ, as a tribute to my dad, because, he ran the modifieds, he ran late models and whatnot, and he's known for that number. So not knowing how it was going to go, having CJ in the car and starting this whole new process of racing modifieds, I said, you know what? We're putting number 74 on the car, and it brought a whole different aura to the team.
Takes you back to the Freeport days.
It really does. Takes me back to, I was born in '63. My dad was already racing from 1960, and that number was with him up until he retired from Freeport, and I think it was 82, maybe 83, whatever the year was, And again, when we brought that number back, and with the success of the car, CJ took down a win. We were always in the top 5 battling for this and that. And the smile on my dad's face. The night that we won, I don't know if I told you the story already, but there was like 5 to go. CJ's leading. I forget who was second, but he was right on him. I think it was Brigatti, matter of fact, Dave. And, we're all standing in turn, just coming out of turn 4. And we look over at my dad, and he's like hanging on the fence. And I'm like, Dad, you're all right? He said, no, I feel really terrible. I'm like, you better get to the ambulance. He's like, no, I'm okay. Half a lap later, he's hanging on the fence, white knuckling. He's like on his knees. I'm like, Dad, you really should get to the ambulance at the hospital. No, I want to wait for CJ to win this race. CJ goes and wins the race, and like literally a minute after that, he's on the floor, passed out. We carry him into the ambulance, take him to the hospital, because I wanted to see that kid win with that number, And so they all went to Victory Lane. I went to the hospital.
Central Center.
But you know what? That's just the kind of guy my dad is.
He is, and I remember watching your dad race when I was a kid. Back in the 70s at Freeport, and a couple of times because ISA told me to go someplace else for a couple of weeks. And I would go to Freeport, and I remember the Amsoil car back then. And I was like, wow, this guy, he has a big sponsor, And I'm like, you don't see that. You just don't see that. And it's just amazing.
You broke it already?
Back in the day, seeing a big sponsor on a car like that, Amsoil was like, it was like STP to Richard Petty.
I remember those days.
Yeah.
That was the transition days in Freeport when they got their NASCAR license and had redone the track with the Campies and kind of changed it.
My dad did we all do our like appearances at to try to build and promote the racetracks and whatnot. Prior to my dad having Amsoil, we just had local sponsors. I think it was Shane's Towing, if you remember. Remember Johnny Guerra?
Names for me, yeah. Wow.
It was Shane's Towing. And we did something in a mall, and Matt Koenig from Amsoil approached my dad and said, "Do you use Amsoil on that car?" My father had no idea what Amsoil was. My father, being the presenter that he is, a week later the car was badged up in Amsoil colors. We had uniforms, we had hats, and it just went from that point to
Cookie won a lot of races in those days.
He did.
Against,
Yes, he did.
Against Paul Masseri and those guys.
Right, Paulie,
That was quite a
Tappan.
quite a crew.
Teddy
They came
was
after Riverhead one night.
Oh, you remember that night?
And Paul,
Paulie went through the wall.
Yeah, Paulie took down the first turn wall.
Yes, he did.
Yep.
Back when it was like guardrail and post back then.
Yeah, unfortunately, the posts were like 35 years old.
Yeah,
so they
they're
really
older
weren't-
than that.
Gave a little bit.
They were like post dust.
If they would have had that wall when I hit, I'd probably still be racing. My foot still be on and all that kind of good stuff, The good old days. Hitting that Jersey bar, that wall didn't move, and there was dirt behind it, It's kind of funny, because I heard somebody talking, maybe outside, but it says it's not that speed when you hit the wall, it's that sudden stop.
Because the
The front end of the car stopped, the back end's still going 90,
The split second, yeah.
Oh, man. John, what are some of your plans? I know you bought out a whole team, which we announced the last time we were here.
That we did.
It looks like you're going to try some tour races.
Well, going forward, our main concern for this season is obviously the crate modified division at Riverhead. We feel as though we have some unfinished business there.
Yeah.
We had a great season, but I feel as though we could.
We had some early troubles early in the year that
We
kind of
did.
put you behind the 8 ball a little bit.
We did.
We had a broken motor, we had a stuck throttle, but all in all, the program went very well. Our team as a unit, with all the adversity that we did have, it kind of showed me that, we are a good team, and we can.
Well, you grew as a team.
We grew as a
And
team.
CJ grew as a driver because that was his first open wheel season, correct?
True, it was.
He'd driven Chargers, figure eights.
Yes.
But first time that the wheels are sticking out when you're driving around River, it's a different experience.
That's what he had said, exactly what you had just said. He said he finally kind of found where the wheels are. Where you can drift off the corner and you know where the wheel is and where the wall is. Where in a Charger car, I guess it's a little different.
Yeah. Well, like I said, my used radio that I got it ended up having your spotter on the radio, so I got to listen to Tim every week.
Right.
And from the beginning of the season to the end, it was quite a bit different.
Yes.
What he was telling him, he was telling him a lot less at the end of the season because he had learned a lot throughout the year.
That much I'd have to say. The whole team grew as the whole family grew as a team, and vice versa. But CJ had definitely grown as a disciplined driver, and he took the critiques not to heart. He took it where he learned from it, and he was good. He was very good, and I expect him to get even better now that he's more comfortable with that car. And that being said, that was the main reason why we decided to springboard it from the crate modifieds into the tour modified, which we're not going to be running a full season. We're going to get our feet wet. We're going to run a few tour shows. We're going to run up at Evergreen with the tour type car.
Are you going to run the All-Star 300?
We're up in the air on that right now. We would love to be involved in that. We haven't actually put that down on paper as of yet. We have a schedule. Before that 300 came out, we had our schedule set, and again, we want to concentrate on the crate modified, series championship, because I feel as though we could be, contenders in that.
Well, you'll have a whole year under your belt. There's going to be a fair amount of new drivers in that class. I mean, you're going to have a bigger field every week, and you're going to have a leg up on probably 6 or 7 drivers that are doing it for the first season this year. So,
we're excited about it, and everything goes in steps. And I didn't want to jump in too deep because I didn't want to fail at it. And you guys know me long enough to know that whatever I try to do it to the best of my ability. We have more equipment right now than we do time to use it. But we're going to grow into that equipment, and when we're ready to go tour racing in 18, I feel as though that we would be, a team that would be able to make the shows run decent. And I was at Thompson, and I guess I never really took notice of it, but I was there early, and there's a lot more to do on a tour day than there is at a Saturday night at a local racetrack.
Absolutely, yes,
And,
definitely.
A few of the guys that are on my team have been involved in the tour deal before. I never was, and I was blown away by the amount of non-racing things that there were to do before you get on the track.
A lot of preparation.
A lot of preparation. So that's another reason why learn that by taking baby steps this season, and then next season not do the crate and go full-time into the tour and have a little bit of experience behind us.
Definitely.
we're excited about it.
All right. We're excited for you, you know, and I always have a pleasure, you know, a good time going to see you guys. And
Thank you. We always have a good time.
on my rare occasions that I go to Riverhead, which I think is going to be a little bit more in 2017.
Good.
You know, we got some stuff going on, but we're going to free ourselves up in it.
Good. And I appreciate you having us on.
Appreciate
It was a
you coming
pleasure.
down.
Congratulations on your 300th episode.
300.
This is my first.
And
so.
well, it's one of 300, I'm sure, coming up for you. Because you can be my sidekick if you'd like.
Yeah, maybe we do our own show.
Oh, we like Abbott and Costello here.
Right.
And we all know who Abbott would be and who Costello would be. Just saying.
But that would have to be like an 11:30, 12 o'clock show.
There'll be cursing involved in that one. For sure.
Maybe we're probably on cable, Showtime, HBO.
Could be.
Johnny, thank you so much again for coming down. And
Appreciate it.
say hello to Dad.
Thank you. We'll see you next week.
We're going to take a break. And we come back, we have another guest who's been a good friend to us, John Cazale from Long Island Needs a Drag Strip, when we come back.
Hey, Joe, it's Ralph Shaheen from Speed Sport. Congratulations on your 300th show. All the best in the future.
Hey, I'm Raul Panther.
And I'm Commander B. Hawkins.
And I'm Rich Weller. We're some of the proto men. If we see you without this bracelet, you get punched in the But if you have this bracelet from Inravio.com, you can win $100.
Put one of these on, or else.
Village Music Shop of Mastic. 1-800-HEY-DUDE. Your full-service store with personalized attention, school band instrument rentals and sales, music instruction on all instruments for all styles and age groups, for guitars, drums, amplifiers, PA systems, and accessories. It's Village Music Shop. 1495 Montauk Highway in Mastic. Call 1-800-HEY-DUDE or go to villagemusicshop.com.
Hi there, this is Buddy from Less Than Jake, and you are listening to Inravio TV. You're probably watching it too.
Welcome back. We're in the fourth segment here to my right, George's left. John Cazale, Long Island Needs a Drag Strip. John, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you very much for having me back.
Always a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
You know, we're pretty much roundy round guys, but you got me hooked on this drag stuff now, you know. And
did you bring one? Is there one out in the parking lot that we can test out?
There's one around the corner.
Right around the corner.
Right around the corner.
Can we take a break?
Sure.
Bring it over?
I was at the church. Yeah. But they had the little rally, and his car was there, of course, you know, amongst a bunch of others, and this thing is gorgeous, you know. So I got to sit in it, you know. So I pretended I had trouble getting out because I was comfortable in that thing. So the last time John was a guest to our show, I says, when can I take that thing out? He goes, when do you want to? I was like, whoa. It's a little more beefy than it was the last time I saw it.
It's a lot more beefy.
A lot more beefy.
What
So what are you going to put a governor on it so I can't go that fast?
They just don't put a lot of fuel in it, so you can't go far.
No, it's quarter mile straight.
All right.
Go, hit it. Like I was telling the guys over there, it's like, I'm out of place. Everybody's making lefts, and I'm going straight.
Well, except the figure eight guys. We go left and right.
Oh, okay.
CJ's doing some figure eight cars.
Yeah.
Jessica drove figure eight cars for a while. You know, she did pretty good, you know.
But,
I guess, maybe. Well, she had fun. No, she actually, this is what I did with that. It was funny. There weren't a lot of cars, maybe 12, 13. And figure eights paid pretty doggone good, let me tell you. And I had the figure eight car, and I'm like, I'm already here. I got a tow sponsor. They'll bring it out. I'll put Jessica in it. Now, she didn't know how to drive a stick, and it's a stick. So I went to Concert Performance. They had a stick Jeep there. So we just did laps in the parking lot in this Jeep, and she's having a ball with it. But now, on the racetrack, and we got the little clutch and the quick throw on the shift. And, she had choice. I said, listen, just line up at the back and then just put the clutch down, put it in first gear, rev the motor, let the clutch up, and you'll go. So that's what she does, So I said, just ride around when you start crisscross and pull out. Well, 19 points later, making almost $200 a night.
There you go.
When Roger Maynard gave us takeoffs, I was on a fuel deal, Trailer Transport towed it out. Who had it better than us?
So you're making money driving racing figure eights.
Racing figure eights. And the comedies didn't like that I was doing that, but you know what?
Oh, well.
They needed cars.
They didn't like a lot of things I did, but anyway. But I did have the opportunity to come back from Thompson, and we're on the ferry, and it was packed with, of course, Long Islanders coming back. And I'm sitting at a table for 6 with a friend of mine. We're sitting there, and Eddie Partridge is looking at me, Eddie, sit here. That hour and a half riding the ferry with Eddie was very interesting. We had some nice conversations, some nice talk, some of the things he's got planned for this year. A drag strip, unfortunately, is not one of them. There's not enough room there.
That's all right.
But
we have our own plans.
And, I know there's a lot that you cannot say, but,
yes.
And I'm kind of privy to some of it, but explain what's going on with Long Island needs a drag strip.
Well, we have Suffolk County legislatures involved. They formed an ad hoc committee to help us find property in Suffolk County for us to get a drag strip along with a motorsports park, which is what we're obviously trying to do. Not just make it a drag strip, get a road course. The property's big enough, even go with a different type of oval racing than not bothering with Mr. Partridge's aspect. Quads, ATVs, motocross, this way they can have a place to run. Go-karts, as a matter of fact, also. And, it works out great. We can do the same layout that you mentioned, like National Speedway had, because it had a drag strip and a road course built into it. So that kind of kills a couple of birds with one stone.
Right.
So we have a few investors. We have some people that came up with land for us to look at, thanks to the legislators. Assemblyman Dean Murray doing a bang-up job for us, promoting us. And
which is a tough thing in this day and age, because Long Island, not in my backyard, is a big slogan.
Yes, not in my backyard is a big issue.
Except for us, we would love in our backyard.
I would love it to be in my backyard.
So would I.
As a kid, we used to love going to Freeport. Only a few times because we lived in Aurora at the time, but I kept asking my dad if he could buy that house on the backstretch because they had the porch. They were watching the races from the porch.
Yeah.
That house is still there.
It's still there. They get to watch the Home Depot get their deliveries, right?
Yeah, the
BJ's. BJ's, yeah.
Well, they mentioned Islip before. Islip Speedway had an 8th mile racetrack,
yes,
a drag strip there.
Actually, my boss, which is really funny because he lives in Queens, actually raced at Islip many years ago. Didn't do very well. I think he wrecked more than he raced. But
I know that.
They showed me pictures of them sitting on the hoods of the cars on the edge of the track. And then when you bought your pizza, you bought it standing on the cool down lane, I think, of the track.
Yes.
It's nice. But I mean, we have to bring racing back to Long Island, even with the oval track people, guys that go out racing. They spend a lot of money themselves going out of state to racing, and it's time that we spend that money back on Long Island.
Yeah.
I mean, one guest, John, I believe, lives in Staten Island over there. He doesn't have it too bad crossing the bridge, except when he's coming this way. But we go that way. It's expensive, and it's money well deserved to be stayed on Long Island.
Tough getting across Staten Island on the weekends.
Yeah.
Traffic alone.
I went down to Charlotte last week, and it was a Tuesday night. It was tough getting across Staten Island. On a Tuesday night, it was like 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whatever it was.
The BQE is always under construction, or
Always.
there's an accident, or a
Not always
breakdown.
under construction.
Yeah.
They've been building that highway since 1933. I mean, come on. You know?
If they could have built a lot of racetracks right there.
They could have. Now, John, I know we can't do this thing right now on Long Island, although it looks like we're going to eventually.
Yes.
Where do our drag racing guys have to go to have a legitimate, fun racing their drag cars?
New Jersey, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, I'm leaving tomorrow night to go to North Carolina for a grudge race on Friday and Darlington on Saturday. So it's far. It's
So you got New Hampshire also. You go up there.
you got New Hampshire. You got the only other track in New York drag strip is up in Lebanon Valley.
Right.
So
right behind the dirt
track.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Which
they
is,
do-
which
and
is a
they-
great place to go too.
And they do
also.
well up there.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, you go to their website, you have your choice to go to, I think it's the dirt track, the drag strip, or I think they have go-karts, something else
Right,
there. So it's a complex.
It is.
It's
Yeah.
used
It
3-4
really
days
is.
a week during the summer.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And I never was really into drag racing because when I first got involved, my good friend in my neighborhood, he had a drag car. He lived right down the road from me, and he's working on his car and he used to race bombers at Freeport. And all of a sudden, he's back and doing this drag thing because that's what his dad did back in the day. And I'm helping him every night, going to, it was 4 houses away. And we go up to National Speedway.
Yeah.
And I guess it was, you don't win, you go, you're done.
Yeah, that's it.
And we worked, I gotta say, we probably put in 50 hours each on this car all week long. And he gets in and, 12 seconds later, we're loaded up. Like, what are we doing? Well, we're done. What do you mean we're done? You get 1 lap, but that's it. And I didn't understand.
Yeah, well,
I didn't understand.
You'll get 2 time trials, and if you go out first round, you pack up and leave. So it's a
Time to
trip
go drink a beer.
It's a trip to North Carolina just to say hi for 7 seconds.
Yeah.
And then
I won't
pack up
pass
and
it.
leave.
But if you win, and you win a few rounds,
You get to pay for the fuel that you use for the day. There's not a lot of money made in drag racing.
And I won past when I was down in North Carolina, the Z-Max.
Yes.
It's 4 lanes.
4 wide.
Yeah, 4. And I guess that cuts the time in half. Instead of going 2 by 2, you're going 4 by 2.
Yeah. Yes. It's
But I think
Z-Max is nice.
Do they do extra runs though when they do it for the 4 wide or no?
No, that's it. You do your 4, then you do your next 4, and 4. You have 16. It's 4 passes down to 8, down to 4, and the winner wins.
Yeah, that's it.
But those guys are racing for quite a bit of money. in
Yeah,
those races.
yeah, those.
The top fuel.
You know what?
Yeah.
You got $1 million sponsors behind them. That's why they win big money.
I haven't been a lot, but I've always been amazed because drag racing. You buy a ticket, that's your pit pass too. You can go in and watch what goes on.
Can you imagine if NASCAR did that?
A lot of people get run over though, because in drag racing, they're pushing the cars out to the track. They're not driving them out.
Right.
So you don't have the
People
the
were
traffic.
walking around like this.
Yeah. In NASCAR, stuff's moving all over the place. Even Riverhead.
Yeah.
How you got to be on your toes.
Yeah.
It's a little different. And also, I'm always amazed watching them pull out all the cylinders and take the heads off between each run and rebuild the whole entire engine.
They have 45 minutes when the last car makes their pass. They have 45 minutes to pull their motor apart, put it back together, and get it back into the race.
It's amazing watching them work. It really is.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. They're talking in my ear here. We this hour went so fast. Can you come back next week and do this again, Joe?
Why not?
Why not? Hey, we're gonna
Show 2.
Show 2.
I'm 298 behind now.
Because this anniversary show always takes on its own little beast, and next week's guest to start the show will be John Casale. He'll probably have the same show now because he wants to promote Long Island Needs a Drag Strip. So I want to thank everybody for being a part of our show tonight and
thank you.
Participate in the chat room, Metropolitan Recycle, and I want to thank you again. Cannot thank you enough, Jimmy Rennick, and for all your help and whatnot. Village Music Shop, who gives us the place to do this. Again, Chuck and Bonnie. Who gave me the opportunity. I got Anthony in the control room. I couldn't do it without him, and just all the other folks that are out there helping us out. So wherever your endeavors are going to take you this week, please be safe, please be careful. Tell somebody you love them, give them a hug. God bless you all, and we will see you all next week. God bless WJ. Good night, bud.
Good night.
Inravio.com.